Number 5.
Alright, so getting right into it with the number 5 and the top ways Bungie has historically screwed up Destiny 2. I can't believe I'm even doing this. Alright, so number 5. Legendaries are now more common than AIDS in Africa. They're everywhere. You can get them from drops, from VIP enemies, turning tokens into the NPCs on each planet. It's easier to get a purple than a blue now. It's made the idea of getting a legendary gear just a matter of a little time and patience. Really not even much of that. I mean, you can get enough tokens from the Titan planet in like 30 minutes of just wandering around to grab about 4 to 6 legendaries just from turning them in. I mean, it's mind-boggling why they've actually done this. First, I couldn't believe it when I started playing the game. I was like, it's just raining legendaries pretty much from the get-go. I mean, I get what they were trying to do. I mean, since Destiny 1, people complained like a bunch of babies that it was too tough to get them and the drop rate sucked. Now, trust me, I know, because, well, I was one of those babies. So now the drop rate still blows, but they mask it with having several other ways to get them. Apparently, Bungie just doesn't get the idea of a happy medium. I guess that's just completely out of the ordinary for them.
Number 4.
Goodbye, God Roll! So now Bungie pulled a Kim Kardashian suck job and taken all the fun out of getting legendaries. Besides number 5, which they just rained from the sky, which makes this part right now even worse. The idea that there's no rolls for weapons when it comes to any type of legendaries or exotics or pretty much anything. Change the element of an energy weapon, so there's 0 point in having more than one or trying to find that God roll like we used to. Well, there isn't one anymore. It just seems that no matter how many of a particular gun you get, the idea is that the stats will be different, is a complete ass smoke, and that leaves a nice big sore spot in the long-time players, where a huge draw for us was, getting that God roll of whatever gun you wanted to get. You're trying to get that, the Doctrine or whatever it was, but you wanted to get it with that particular roll. You wanted to get that God roll. So you tried to get as many legendaries as possible because it was going to be a possibility of a different roll every single time. But no, now you get one gun, you get them all. It just makes absolutely 0 sense to me, and it's the dumbest ass thing they could have done. They've actually dumbed it down to the point where just anybody on Earth could pick up the game and use it. Now, I'm going to throw in a little side part. I'm going to call it 4.5, okay? Because also, I remember when them saying with Bungie 1 that, your game would carry over. Okay, yeah, your character, and everything carry over and this, that, and the other. Yeah, it really doesn't even matter. Character carries over in name basically only. You lose all of your exotics, everything you worked your ass off for, completely blown out the window. It's meaningless. So don't tell me that it carried over. You could just make characters and do the same shit. Now, like I was saying, sorry, let me go back to 4. Huge draw, God rolls, gave the game longevity, trying to get that version of the gun that ruled them all. Now, however, they all ruled them all, and everything was just left being like everybody else. Everybody's walking around with the same old thing.
Number 3.
Alright, so number 3, needless item collections. Now, this one I had to kind of decide on if it was really a bad thing or not, but since it's useless, I decided to add it. Back in Destiny 1, when it first came out, you had to scour the countryside to get all sorts of random junk just to try to upgrade all of your weapons. And people complained and bitched because it was a grind and it drove people nuts and you needed this and that. And then it was kind of phased out later on in the expansions because you were able to buy them with glimmer and marks and whatnot. And it really wasn't all that big a deal anymore. You still had to get them if you didn't have any marks. You would still kind of have to scour the countryside to find them all. But then, it is what it is. So now it's still in the game, but it has no purpose at all. Now some may speak up and spit out that you can turn it in and there's the NPCs that gain level and get legendaries. However, one of them will barely move the bar, yet in the same time frame you grab enough to actually fill that bar once, you get about, like 200 freaking tokens and fill the bar about 10 times. Not to mention all of those boxes and everything you're opening, you're probably going to get 5 to 6 legendaries, possibly 1 or 2 even exotic engrams dropping. So it's beyond point. Actually, it's just needless. I walk by them, I don't even care. They do absolutely nothing for anybody. Good job, Bungie.
Number 2.
Alright, number 2. To campaign or not to campaign? And if you don't campaign, you're getting no Sparrow. So in Destiny 1, I know I keep going back to that, but it's kind of making you look good these days. Destiny 1, you had to play several missions before going out and getting your Sparrow and leaving the long walks behind. However, now, well, you got to finish the campaign even to get your free Sparrow. Now, let me just mark that for a second. When I say free, I mean you get the opportunity to just kind of have a Sparrow. You can still, of course, buy one. With the mini transaction everybody can't stand. Now, I know people are going to go and say why, and let me tell you right now, mini transactions or microtransactions, whatever the hell you want to call them, Bungie's little ATM piggy bank, are not on this list because it was in Destiny 1 and people just kind of accepted it, and about 1,000 games now are doing it, so whatever. It is what it is. It's not like nobody saw this coming a mile and a half away. So, now, like I said, you can get your free Sparrow, get access to it to be able to hang out with the cool kids in the new tower. Now, if you don't, then you're pretty much left in the stinky kids in the farm, dodging goose shit and trying to kick a ball in a little goal out back. So, that's pretty much it, really. You have to play the campaign. And it kind of drives you a little bit nuts because why in the living hell it's like they're forcing you to play the campaign. Now, I sure as hell don't want to play the campaign twice or 3 times. It kind of gives you really no want almost to do your second or third characters. Because I don't want to go through that crap 3 times. It doesn't seem like there's any way around that. Alright guys, so number 1. Let's hit it up with number 1. Okay, now this one pissed me off. And the more and more I looked into it, the more and more it's actually pretty damn ridiculous. And I say this right now with a smile on my face, not you can see it. But it's kind of a joke at this point.
Number 1.
Alright, so number 1. Now, we are at number 1 on the list. And it's a huge one for damn sure. I'm really not sure why, but Bungie decided it made a whole ton of sense to pretty much spoon feed everybody the best weapon in the game. If you happen to look around the net, consensus is that the best weapon in the game sits at, again, Might multi-tool. Sound familiar? Because everybody and their mother had it, wanted, or used it in Destiny 1, and things have not changed at all. Several sites actually made a joke about it, where they listed the top 5, and all 5 were the Might multi-tool. It's pretty much like the Might multi-tool, and then like Hoover Dam of Space, and then everything else. It's completely off balance, and it's just, I don't know what they were thinking. Now, and it's really easy to get, and anybody can get it. It's not like it's something you actually have to find. It's not something you have to get from a drop. It's so simple to do. All you got to go through is the gunsmith's pretty mundane and straightforward quests. I mean, you don't even have to, and no part of it even has to do with the raid or the crucible. It's simple, easy, quick, and you get the Might multi-tool, which is, the best weapon in the game again. It's basically it's all in. You go into Crucible now, and it's kind of like just a one-gun show deprived of any diversity whatsoever. Snipers are dead. Rocket launchers are dead. They added the grenade launcher, which is dead. That one that looks really cool. It's got to be a joke. The one that they did that looks like a mini Gallahorn, and it is like the worst exotic in the game. The lion something. I got it. Was happy. Thought it was cool. Sucks. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, pretty much what the biggest mistake that they have made with Destiny 2 is this unbelievable gap between the best weapon in the game, which is anybody can get, extremely easy to get, and is the gap between that and everything else is just ridiculous. And the main problem again goes back to several of the other ones where exotics are easy to get. There's 1,000 different quests you can do to get legendaries or exotics, and boom, there you have it. Not to mention the fact that there's no god rolls of anything, so there's nothing to compare anything to, because there's nothing that can beat it with a better roll. Just what it is. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Stay tuned for my next video, which is going to be the top 5 things that Bungie got right with Destiny 2. And yeah, I actually found 5 things. So stay tuned. Don't forget that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.
never learn.
Then teach them a new lesson.